It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello, what's happening, everybody? Yes, it is showtime, and it is the weekend. Thank God it is Friday. Not Friday, Friday. Yay, it's Friday, so I call it Friday edition of the Geno Jones Show. Please subscribe to my channel. You and everybody you know and don't know, that you like, that you love, that you can't stand, that you hate, doesn't matter. Everybody, or as my man Nelly would say, everybody, subscribe to the Geno Jones channel here on YouTube. Please like and share, or share and like every episode. We have made it to another weekend. First Friday of February, 2/4/22. 2 days ago it was 2/2/22. And on February 22nd, it's going to be 2/22/22. I'm not into numerology necessarily, and I don't play the lottery, but I'm saying, just saying, not saying, but saying. Let's get into the monologue. Spike Lee is going to direct a documentary about Colin Kaepernick, who was at a New York Knicks basketball game, I believe, last night. It's going to be for ESPN. They don't have an exact date on when it's going to be released. I'll keep you posted. Shout out to number 7, Colin Kaepernick, social justice warrior. They literally gave up his career. He was at his physical peak, the prime, his physical prime of his career. And he gave it up, sacrificed it and gave it up, fighting social justice. Speaking of another man who's in his prime, coaching prime, you heard stories. As a matter of fact, Wednesday's episode, I was talking about Brian Flores. Brian Flores is former head coach for the Miami Dolphins, and he had to file a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit against the National Football League for racism and racist practices. You've heard the story. Go back and watch my episode. Bottom line is the New York Giants scheduled an interview with Brian Flores on a Thursday. On Monday, he got a text from his former boss, Bill Belichick, as I like to call him, the head coach of the New England Patriots. So he got a text and he said, New York Giants, congratulations, New York Giants. So the bottom line is Bill Belichick sent the text to the wrong Brian, because the Brian that got the job was a guy named Brian Daboll, who is the offensive coordinator, and that's the coach, not the head coach. He's like the head coach for the offense for the Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. So shout out to Chris Berman, ESPN. That's his line. I kind of just stole for that minute. So there was white Brian that got the job, Brian Daboll. The black Brian, Brian Flores, didn't get the job. But he was told by the New York Giants that he was to be interviewed in person on Thursday. But he found out on Monday, Brian Flores, the black Brian, found out the New York Giants already hired a Brian, the white Brian, on Monday. So there's a lawsuit. You probably heard a lot about it. Like I said, go back and watch Wednesday's episode, because I went full all in that ass. It's just one example. Not to mention, he also talked about the team he used to coach, the Miami Dolphins. Their head coach basically said, according to Brian Flores, that I will pay you $100,000 for every football game that you lose. Head coaches, football players are paid to win games. You get fired when you lose games. And then we found out there's another former head coach, a brother named Hugh Jackson, who's now the head coach at Grambling University. He was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and his team won in 2 years out of 32 games. They won one game. They were 1-31. And people clowned Hugh Jackson and said, oh, he's horrible. It turned out there were some financial incentives, according to Hugh Jackson, to lose games because the team had a 4-year plan and they wanted to get more young players. I digress. So this is an example. This is an example of a lot of times when a black head coach gets a job, they usually get a job with a team, just a horrible team, no talent, lousy management, no support, or a team that's trying to rebuild with young players. And they're going to lose a lot of games because these players are young and inexperienced. And then when the young players get good, well, we need another coach. So the black coach usually gets fired. They bring in a white coach. The white coach looks like a hero, riding in like the white knight on the white horse. And the black head coach that really develops the talent gets fired. You know what happened in basketball, in the NBA? Mark Jackson, and no disrespect to Steve Kerr, the Golden State Warriors, the man who was the foundation and really developed Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, was not Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr came the right place, right time, right situation. These guys were mature. The games had developed. He came in with a little different offense because they were already good, already making the playoffs. So once again, happened with Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy, former coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had a great team, one game away from the Super Bowl. He was fired in Tampa Bay. They bring in this white dude, John Gruden. He wins the Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's, literally all of Tony Dungy's talent. Gruden just kind of rolled the white horse, won a Super Bowl. Tony Dungy left, went to Indianapolis. Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. So, I asked this question. Well, let me ask this question first. Are we watching the Super Bowl this year? And if so, why? Now, look, I know that the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show, it's got Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem performing at halftime. Right. Amazing. So the NFL owners, we as black people, we are good enough to entertain you and to sing and dance and rap and perform for you, but we're not good enough to be leaders of your teams. And we're not good enough to be head coaches. One black head coach, I think you got 3 maybe, or 4, no more than 4, somewhere but 3 or 4 black general managers, team presidents, out of 32 teams in a league that is 71% black. We can entertain you, we can play for you, but we can't be the face and leaders of your team. We can't be in management. And you have zero goose egg, 0 black owners. 31 white men and a Pakistani American dude named Shad Khan out in Jacksonville. And he just hired a head coach. I thought it was a good move. Wasn't a black dude, Doug Peterson, former Philadelphia Eagles head coach that took that team to the Super Bowl. Once again, there are 4 head coaching positions open. I don't even think a black man is going to get this job because that's the NFL. And when we talk about institutional racism, the institution is racist, not specifically or necessarily one individual person. When we talk about systemic and institutional racism, it means the system has been racist since it's existed. It's in the institution itself. It's just part of the DNA, part of the culture of the institution or the system. So I ask, are we watching the Super Bowl? And listen, I love the game of football. I played semi-pro football. Absolutely love it. A lot of players, there are a lot of brothers in the league that I got mad respect for and are a fan of. But at some point, is it really that important? How am I benefiting personally? Because listen, I get it. I got friends. I got people who follow me as fans and supporters of my TV and radio show. They are like so emotionally invested in teams like the Cowboys and the Steelers and the Raiders and the Green Bay Packers, they will fight your ass if you say something bad about their team, which is hilarious to me. I'm emotionally invested in the Lakers. I love the Los Angeles Lakers, a little concerned about them, but I ain't punching nobody because they say something bad about the Lakers. The Buss family, Jeannie Buss, the family that owns the Lakers, they haven't given me one penny. I love the Lakers, but I don't love them like that. The Lakers don't even know who the hell I am. So it's just amazing that we, and it's not just black people, I get it, white people are emotionally invested. But when we look at how black people are treated and have been treated in the NFL, now somebody will say, oh yeah, but the players are millionaires and they make all this money. Well, guess how much money the owners are making? And do we ever ask? We always talk about how much money the players are making, but nobody talks about, well, damn, the players are millionaires, but the owners are billionaires. And these owners, most of them were billionaires. Now, some of them became billionaires after the teams became successful. Like the Dallas Cowboys, the team is worth, according to Forbes magazine, $5 billion, billion with a B. Now, when Jerry Jones bought that team about 30 some odd years ago, they were nowhere near worth $5 billion. But guess what? You know who's the main reason for that team being worth $5 billion? Dudes like Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and Charles Haley, and I could go on and on and on. Currently, guys like Dak Prescott and Zeke Emanuel and CeeDee Lamb and this young brother Micah Parsons. They had Troy Aikman, but the majority of those Dallas Cowboy teams that people still worship like they are Jesus Christ, in the 90s, when they won 3 Super Bowls out of 4 years, the majority of that team was black. The vast majority of that team. The vast majority of this current Dallas Cowboys team is black. Name a team. Let's talk about the 2 teams that's playing in a week and a half on February 13th. The Rams. The majority of that team is black. Cincinnati. The majority of that team is black. So my question, I want to just go back. Are we watching the Super Bowl? And at what point do we use the power that we have, just as people who watch it are fans, and say, okay, you know what, why am I going to continue to support an industry and support you when you constantly give me your ass to kiss collectively? And so I want to go back. So I remember about 2.5 years ago, Jay-Z one of the things he said in this, there was a news conference to announce this partnership between the NFL and Jay-Z and his company Roc Nation. And the partnership, what Roc Nation and Jay-Z were supposed to do, they were supposed to amplify social justice efforts working along with the National Football League. And of course, helping out with getting some of the best talent to perform at the halftime performance, the Super Bowl halftime show, like he did this year. Like I said, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem. But at what point do we make a statement? At what point are we willing to sacrifice this fandom? Like, what would happen if we all just said, you know what, we out. We're going to sit this Super Bowl out in terms of watching it. Watch a movie with your wife, with your husband, with your significant other, your boo, your bae. Spend the time with your kids. Take your kids, have a family event. Order some movies, rent some movies. Go visit grandma. Anything for that 3.5 hours, 4 hours. Send a message. Can we send a message? Now they're still going to have, tens, maybe about 100. They could have close to 100 million people watching. But just imagine if all these black people that are so emotional, and I would encourage not just black people, all my anti-racist white brothers and sisters, and Hispanic brothers and sisters, Afro-Latino, or white identifying Latino brothers and sisters, our Asian American brothers and sisters, Native American brothers and sisters, and like I said, our anti-racist white brothers and sisters. How about sending a message? Like, nah, we're good. If the racism is just so blatant, because now it's blatant. Now we got it in text messages. We see how rigged this system in terms of hiring black men to be head coaches or to run teams. We see how rigged it is. We see how racist it is. And at what point do we say, enough is enough? How long do we continue to support a system and a league that really doesn't give a damn about us? That really doesn't. As black people. I'm sitting it out. I know a lot of you people watching, a lot of you guys, a lot of you women. I know a lot of you all are gonna watch it because you bet money on it, or you're gonna have a party and it's a tradition, big Super Bowl party, or maybe you're a big fan of the Rams, Los Angeles Rams, or Cincinnati. I get it. But at what point are we willing to sacrifice something? And I gotta ask, how big of a sacrifice would it be if we didn't watch the Super Bowl or the halftime show in real time? To give the NFL credit for because they track our viewing. So if your TV is tuned in to the game, they can track it. They have systems to track how many viewers. They know how many viewers. And can you imagine if, let's just say, even if, no, I'm gonna go all the, wouldn't it be wonderful if all the black NFL fans said, enough is enough. And all the anti-racist white NFL fans said, we got to send a message, enough is enough. And the same for our Hispanic, Native American, and Asian brothers and sisters. Are we willing to even sacrifice that much? I know I am. Now, my one little, well, we got 3 TVs in the house, but we only gonna have it on one. So that one may not make that much difference. But just imagine if all the ones out there, even if they had a drop in 10 to 15%, would send a shockwave. If Super Bowl, and they can trust me, they can track it. And if all the black NFL fans alone, not to mention, like I said, the anti-racist white fans and Hispanic, Native American, and Asian American fans was like, no, we ain't doing this. It would send a shockwave, I promise you, and you'll get these owners' attention. Just like this lawsuit that Brian Flores filed against the NFL, the National Football League. Oh, it's got their attention now. I said it once, I've said it a million times. The way to get people's attention with money and power is to start digging in them pockets and start taking away that money and power. You will get their attention quick. Because now, these NFL owners, they still doing some racist stuff. Like I said, Jacksonville just hired another coach. It was a white coach. But, don't think you don't have their attention. Because then when this goes to trial and something called discovery happens, which means that both sides are allowed each other to discover some of the evidence that they have. It's about to get real. I mean, it's about to get really real. It's about to get real. And the NFL knows it. Can you imagine some of the other text messages that exist? So they got Bill Belichick's text. Who's he texting on the Giants? How did he know that the Giants were going to hire the white Brian before the black Brian? And then what were some of those people at the New York Giants really saying about the black head coach, Brian Flores. Ooh, yeah, it's about to get real. It's about to get really real, y'all. I'm just saying, as I wrap up my monologue and my show for the week, the difference between a moment and a movement is sacrifice, I was told. We can have a moment, taking a knee, it's a moment, led to a movement. The sacrifice was Colin Kaepernick, sacrificed his football playing career at his physical prime. He was in his physical peak and gave it up to fight for social justice. What are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up 3.5 hours once, miss the Super Bowl? You're going to see the highlights. You'll watch it on ESPN and Fox Sports 1. You'll watch all the debate shows. You'll see the highlights. They'll play them over and over and over and over and over. And everybody's going to be talking about it. You can go back, catch it, all the clips, TikTok, YouTube. They're going to have all the highlights all over the damn place. You couldn't miss it if you wanted to. Hell, Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder are going to get to see the highlights because they're going to be just everywhere. Everywhere. What are we willing to sacrifice to really get social justice, to get our freedom and equity and respect? Because people with power, they don't just give it up. You have to take that power. When you have the leverage, you have to take that power. You have to demand either you're going to share some of this power or we're going to take some of that or a lot of it or all that power from you because we've got the power too. Who knows? I know there's going to be another league, the USFL. Wouldn't it be nice? Listen, Dr. Dre is a billionaire. His partner, Jimmy Iovine, head of Interscope Records, that's another billionaire. Jay is a billionaire. His wife, Beyonce, is probably a billionaire right now. Snoop is probably, if he ain't a billionaire, he's damn near there. Mary's in the loop. Can you imagine if they got together and said, and told the owners, okay, listen, this is what, since you want Jay-Z to work with you in Rock Nation, this is what we want. If you want this partnership to continue, we got a group. All the names I mentioned, just imagine if they got Oprah involved and it's a guy, Robert Smith, a billionaire, a black man, a billionaire, paid off the student debt, outstanding student debt for the graduating class of Morehouse University, I believe back in 2019. What if they got together? And then if they pulled the real power move and hollered at Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. I heard Jeff Bezos wanted to buy the Chicago Bears. Richard Branson, the head of Virgin Music, Virgin Atlantic Airlines, Virgin everything. Got some white billionaires in there with them as minority partners. Not the majority. Let the black folks be the majority owners, but say, hey, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, y'all, well, come on, get a piece of this action. Jeff Bezos, come on, get a piece of this action. So we want to buy a couple franchises, not one. You got a franchise in Miami. They're about to tell the owner if everything that my man Brian Flores said is true. Oh, Stephen Ross is going to have to sell the team. So you're going to have one opening. Then you got the situation in Cleveland. Jimmy Haslam, the owner, allegedly, according to Hugh Jackson, former head coach, the brother that was a former head coach, Cleveland a couple years ago, the Browns, head coach of Grambling University, if he says, wait a minute, there were financial incentives for this black man to lose games? Now keep in mind, who is the NFL recently partnered up with? Legalize gambling, legalize sports betting. Oh, now we really, man, Houston, we really got a problem. Think about all the bettors that's betting billions. Can you imagine how much money is going to just be bet on this upcoming Super Bowl? I guarantee you, tens probably hundreds of billions of dollars worldwide is going to be bet on this one game. Now, what if we really find out that what we see on the field isn't really what we see on the field? What if we find out that it's more like WWE, where it's more scripted? It's like reality TV. Well, it ain't really just who's the best team, but it's a little rigged. It's like, But when you have a former head coach that said that the owner paid him, was willing to pay because Brian Flores said, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. He said, that's not going to happen. You had an owner that was willing to pay a head coach $100,000 per game to lose so they could get like a better draft pick, a better young player. And you allegedly had a similar situation in Cleveland. Then people are like, wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, man, that's why that team was so lousy. They were lousy intentionally. How do you think the fans in Miami and Cleveland feel? And then this whole issue about the integrity of the game. Oh, that shit goes out the window. Then the sports gambling community is going to be like, whoa, hold on, man. We ain't messing with you. We not messing with y'all because we don't know what's real and what's not. Oh, this thing's about to get real. Once again, are we going to watch the Super Bowl, or better yet, why are we, especially as black people, why are we watching the Super Bowl this year? And what are we willing to sacrifice to get real fairness and equality and equity? Because the National Football League, it just reflects society overall. How many times have you or somebody you knew that you would at least as qualified, if not qualified, than a white person that interviewed and they got the job? How many times have you trained somebody that was clueless, who didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground, and you trained them and they wound up being promoted over you? Oh yeah, that's real too. So what happened to Brian Flores? What happened to Brian Flores in the National Football League has been happening to black men and women for decades, arguably centuries. Do we really need to watch the Super Bowl? Think about it. Just want to put that on your mind. Have a great weekend. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel here on YouTube. Please like and share every episode. I'm wearing red. Today is National Wear Red Day to draw attention and to focus on women's heart health. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. That's right. Not breast cancer, nothing like that. The #1 killer of women, and it's even worse for black women. The #1 killer of women is heart disease. So I'm wearing red out of respect and to draw attention so we can get a cure to all forms of heart disease. Please, once again, subscribe to the Geno Jones channel here on YouTube. Like and share every episode. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist of the Geno Jones Show. Yes, it's a bad hair week, but don't worry. We got you covered. Monday, I'll get to see Markel this weekend. So no more bad hair days. Shout out to Miss Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. She is on Instagram. Check out her Instagram page, _Lexi space Nicole Designs. It is fire underscores at line below, line below, Lexi, LEXXIE, one space over, Nicole, NICOLE Designs. And Bruce Gage, providing this beautiful blazer. As a matter of fact, he's also official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check his Instagram page out. Just Google or Siri or just search on whatever search engine you use. Just go on the internet and search Bruce Gage on Instagram. Bruce Gage on Instagram. It's Miglio, Migliodi, Mario, Mario, Uomo. Miglio di Mario Uomo. It's Italian name. I know, it's a lot to remember. Just make it easy. Search Bruce Gage on Instagram. Have a great weekend, like I said. A great weekend. Next live edition of the Geno Jones Show coming to you live this Monday. It might be a different time. It might be a 7 o'clock start time. 6:30 or 7, giving you a heads up. So tune in at 6:30, but stick around. Definitely 6:30 or 7. We just got some things we got to take care of. But there will be a live show this Monday. All right. One more thing. Two more things. Thank you and everybody for watching. And the last thing I want to say to you is, as always, be blessed.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.